Hi, just want to do a quick review of this product that I've had for a while now. It's the Hamilton Beach FlexBrew Trio model 49976. I purchased it at Costco, but it's available at places like PC Richards, etc. Although I purchased it at a very good deal at Costco at the time, might be true today, about $70. I got a real good deal on it. At first, I saw it at PC Richards. It was much more expensive. I think it was one for about 120. And I was a little skeptical of because the reservoir compared to my old unit that it's replacing. My old unit was it was a Keurig. It was an actual Keurig single serve, and the old unit had a really big reservoir on it. But it's only single serve. That's one of the other downsides of the old unit. Besides the old unit breaking about after only 2 years, it started to really malfunction. So I needed to replace it, and I thought, why not replace it with something that has a coffee pot and a K-cup? You can do both. So I said, let me look into it. Let me weigh the pros and cons. Like I said, when I saw it in PC Richards, I molded over because it doesn't have, for the K-cup, it doesn't really have a big reservoir. So every time you want a coffee K-cup, single serve, you're going to have to fill it. But it's not such a big deal, and I'll show you why. It's not such a big deal. In fact, I think it has more advantages of doing it this way rather than the old way of filling the whole reservoir with water, and just selecting the cup size, etc. I'll show you exactly how this thing operates. It's very simple also to operate. There's nothing to it. It's a really simple device to operate, and I'm really happy with it so far. I think my money was well spent, and like if you can get it at the deal at $70 at say Costco or BJ's, what have you, get it there, But even at 120, this is cheaper than even the Keurig or some other units that they have out there. Some other manufacturer that have these kind of features. Even it's better than the single serve is kind of expensive. I mean, look at what you get again. Like you get a coffee pot and a K-cup server. So anyway, I'll dive right in and show you how this works. So basically over here, not only is this a stand for your typical K-cup single serve coffee maker, but also it's storage. So in there, that's the brown cup or attachment is what you would put, like let's say you had you had your own coffee grinds. You could put them in there instead and brew without K-cups. You don't have to necessarily buy K-cups to do single serve. I mean, that's just great having that. But typical, I purchase K-cups like these, the standard K-cups that you buy for a Keurig, and also, like say BJ's or what have you. I mean, I don't really care. I'll buy whatever's, I basically mathematically it'll tell you like how many K-cups you get in a box and then how much you pay for it. And you do the math and you find out, I mean, to me, I'm not a coffee aficionado, so I don't really care. If I can get something cheap for cheaper, why not, I mean, as long as it's not going to kill me or something, So anyway, so that's one of the brands that's a little bit cheaper. It's pretty good too, I just want to say. It's not bad, So anyway, sure as it's better than going to like, say Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. Oh, wow. Like, $5, $6, $7 for cup of coffee or iced coffee, what have you. I mean, the prices that they charge for these things these days, make it yourself. you know, in the morning. And this only takes a few minutes, you know, and you could fill it up. The best part of this coffee maker is that I could use this. You know, I could put my ice in there if I like iced coffee, or if I want a full cup of coffee, I put it in there. And guess what? Unlike the Keurig Elite, I can actually fit this. A little hard to work the camera while I'm doing it, but you get the idea. Hold on. You kind of got to slide it in. There you go. See? Wasn't so hard. It's harder if you work. You know, I'm holding, you know, basically a phone filming this. To be honest with you, it's nothing fancy, but you see, like like that, and this goes right in. See that? Look at that. Just one right in. See that? You know, I only had struggled because I am holding a camera too. I'm trying to focus in on it. I'm not watching what I'm doing. But I'm not going to edit that out. Nothing fancy with this video. I just shoot them. I don't care. I just do it, you know? That's the real world, you know? So anyway, here's where you would open up and put your K-Cup in, right? For this, I'm going to just show you, though, a regular cup of coffee. So I'm going to take that out, right? So see, I have my K-Cup in there. So I'm going to lower this. I'm not going to latch it down. I'm going to show you how they put the water in, right? You need to know how to put the water in. So I'm going to take this, basically open up the reservoir where you could put the water for the K-Cup. Very simple. It's on this side. And then all you have to do, I pre-filled the water. So it's just like, I don't want to, you know, bore you with how to fill a water, you know, cup, right? Or mug. You know, coffee cup, etc. Right? Now you notice this is very irregular. This is my, like, you know, this is a gig, and it's a very irregular cup of coffee, right? You know, you don't really know how many ounces that is, you know? But I filled it up just as I want it, so that I could put some milk or almond milk or something in there, like creamer or whatever it is, you know? I don't want it to go all the way to the top, because then if it fills it all the way to the top, if I put too much in, let's say if I set like a Keurig to 8 ounces or whatever, and that's too much, it might go all the way to the top. There's no control over it. But with this, you put in as much water as you want, and then basically you go to the reservoir and you just pour the water in. Look at that. As much water as you need, only as much water as you need. Pretty much nothing gets wasted on this unit. I mean, like, whatever you put in pretty much is what you'll get out. You know, boils, and it comes out through the K-Cup here and goes right into your coffee. There's nothing to it. I mean, it's basically in, out. So, you know, you just put as much water as you need. Very simple for a single serve. And even for the coffee pot, it's very simple. That's what I like about this. Explaining it to someone, it's there's no science to this. There's no rocket science or anything. I like simple. So anyway, so we're going to put like that there, right? Got it, right? Go lower this because we don't want that open while it's boiling, or, you know, percolating, what have you want to call that, right? See? And then we're going to, just like say a Keurig, you have to make sure things latch down and it pops the top, and then I guess it pierces the bottom, right? So then we're all ready to brew, right? So then, you know, you notice it says carafe, right? A fancy name for coffee pot, right? So then we're going to select single, right? And then all we have to do is select, say, the brew string. So I don't know. I'm going to put it at regular. You know, you can put it at bold, whatever you feel. You know, whatever kind of coffee. You know, it's up to you, really. In the end, whatever tastes good for you, whatever you like. You know, bold or regular. Very simple. No rocket science. Very simple unit, right? I like it. All right. So here, now I just press the on button, and look, it's brewing. So in a couple minutes, it's going to actually start to spurt out the coffee into the into the mug. Now I'm starting it cold, so nothing's really happened. But you know, you can hear, just like a Keurig or any other coffee maker, you can hear it percolating. You know. So anyway, I'm going to pause because I don't want to bore you. Okay, we're back. It's about 2 minutes from a cold start. As you can see, I think this is a very smooth pour compared to, compared to the Keurig that I had. Even the Keurig was new. It was a very violent, kind of like almost like the Keurig had eaten Taco Bell or something like that, and needed to go to the bathroom really bad. But this is it's a very smooth pour, I think. I think that's a plus. I mean, I didn't really appreciate the violence of the Keurig. Anyway, you can see it's about pretty much what we put in before as water is concerned, and then you get out coffee in the same amount. So therefore, you notice there's a little bit of room for milk or almond milk or what have you. Whatever you want to put in your coffee is up to you. You want to leave it black just like that, fine. You know, whatever you want to do. Anyway, that's not all that it can do. Obviously, I showed that it has a coffee pot. It's the same idea. Basically, I'm not going to bore you with pouring or anything again, but you see it has the amount of cups, right? And I filled it to the amount of water, right? And then, this is going to take a while longer, so I don't really want to bore you with it actually operating. But basically, what you would do is you would lift up this other compartment, which contains the reservoir for the coffee pot. You could even use the coffee pot to pour the same amount of water that you need for coffee in the back of the unit. See? In the back of the unit. And then, you put the empty pot over there. And then you'd basically put a filter in this. This you could take out. You could actually clean anything inside. It's very easy to clean and maintain. You put the filter right in here. There's a little notch where the filter basket sits. So it's very easy to put it back in and make sure it's secured. But again, you could clean it. I recommend, when you have one of these coffee makers with coffee pot and everything, any kind of machine with that you don't leave, after you're done, you don't leave the filter in here, and you don't leave the coffee, definitely don't leave the coffee and stuff like that, because it collects mold and stuff like that if you forget about it. So always remember to take it out when it's safe to do so, when it's not like really hot or something like that. You take it out. Anyway, you put the filter in there, you put the coffee grinds in there, you close the lid, same idea. You push this carafe button, which is the coffee pot, right? And then you set the brew strength over here, and you hit OK on. And then it might take a bit longer, but remember, you're brewing in bulk, like when family comes over or something like that. Like that's usually when I would do this, and that's why I got this unit, which I'm very happy with. Other important things to mention, that electrically, a lot of times when you buy an appliance, it's hard to know how much power you need is required. Particularly in the kitchen, you have other appliances running. You might have a toaster, etc. And many of you might know that, I run this and I run this and I blow a circuit breaker or a fuse. If you have a really old house or something like that, you might have fuses. And of course, many of you might know it's 15 amps standard that comes in many homes, especially if you have a more dated home. A 15 amp circuit breaker or a 15 amp fuse comes in most homes, most modern kind of modern homes. I'm not an expert in electric, but I know that's pretty standard. Um, but one a good actually family member of mine, a brother-in-law, had told me that you basically um, you don't want to hit that 15 mark or anywhere near it. I think he said 80% or something like that of 15 amps. That's the most really you should draw and constantly. Like you notice, like if you plug in, say your blow dryer, okay. If you plug in your blow dryer to the same circuit as everything else, especially if the same circuit as everything else, even if you're not really running anything on that circuit except for maybe lights or something, maybe a television or some lamp or something like that, you'll notice that like a lot of these blow dryers will actually dim the lights, especially if you have an older house and so on. Even if it's, just because of the old wiring and, even if it's a 15 ampere circuit breaker, you're going to notice the lights dim. So it's recommended that you probably plug that into something dedicated that can handle that draw without taxing it. And it's not that it goes over 15. It might go, a lot of them go like, maybe 12 or 13, but you'll notice that there's a difference, right? So what I was saying is not to go long-winded on this one here, but I noticed that the Keurig, and I have a kilowatt, it's a device that you plug into the outlet, and then you plug whatever appliance or what have you that you want to test. You can plug that into that, and then basically it tells you what the current draw, the double, the current draw is your appliance is making on that outlet, right, on the device, on the meter, right. So I noticed the Keurig is usually pulled around 13.1 ampere, according to people I talked to, mentioned before. Example is that's really not very good. That's taxing things, and that's why I noticed before when I had the Keurig, I would notice that the lights would dim a little bit or flicker sometimes. You're really cutting it close when you run 13 amps on a 15 amp fuse. I'm no expert. Again, I'm no expert, but you want to try to minimize things, and you don't want to pay more on your electric bill for anything anyway. And you don't want to use too much power or tax the circuits. Okay, so keep in mind that number 13.1 amperes. That's what my Keurig was running. Okay, this one, and by the way, manufacturers are, I'm finding it harder to find actual specs on appliances, so be careful, like out there, when you go to shop for an appliance, like if it's if it's an all-in-one air fryer, toaster, microwave oven, whatever it is, be careful before you buy. Do a little research and find out if it's actually going to work, because you don't want to like find out that it's not working in your kitchen. I mean, they don't seem to care. They want to make the sale, but you don't want to, like, even if you can bring it back. I mean, who wants to go to the store and bring it back and argue with people? I mean, they sold you this thing. They don't care sometimes. They want you to just go home and try it or whatever. I'm like, I'd rather know that something's going to work with what I have, rather than go back to the store and tell them I'm unhappy, or have to feel like I'm apologizing to them. No, they should be more upfront and tell you more specs on the device that you're buying, so that you can make an informed decision on whether or not to buy it. Who wants to upgrade their electric or to a dedicated circuit for something? I don't. If I can get away with certain things safely, I'd rather, go with what I have in this day and age, So anyway, so going back, it's 13.1 for the Keurig, right? And that was a single serve coffee maker. And by the way, it had to constantly heat that big reservoir. And by the way, the reservoir was kind of like, it's the water could become a little stagnant in it, The water in this one, I fill it, and I'm ready. I'm gonna use the coffee right away. Use it for coffee right away. It's not stagnant. It's not sitting in there. So anyway, go back to that. So that's 13.1 for Keurig. This one, get ready. This one, I saw it never go above 8.24 amperes. Wow, what a difference. What a difference. It's going to use less power, and it's not going to tax your electric wires as much. I mean, it's just, you could probably find that you're not going to be dealing with resetting circuit breakers or anything like that. I mean, what a difference. And it's a cheaper unit. What more can I say? That's why I spent time making this review, because I want you to know everything about it that I can think of. You could compare it with other reviews. I went before I even brought this. I looked at other reviews too, but I thought I'd just tell you my take on it, and maybe something maybe they didn't point out or something like that, or maybe you'll find that they pointed out too. But this is my take on it. I didn't edit this. I'm just winging it. So it actually took longer than I expected, but I think it's a very good review. You can fast forward to find parts that you like or whatever. I hope this was very helpful for you. And again, I'm very happy with the unit. And, if you're looking for a coffee maker that could do single serve, and you could do a coffee pot for like when you have company, family over, etc., this is something you'll be very happy with. It looks great. It looks great. It's simple, very simple to operate. There's nothing to it. I'm sure there's features of it that I haven't even showed. I know I think you can set the time and so on, but what I usually do is I cut everything off. Like I turn everything off by a power strip. I'd rather not have anything on while I'm not around. But you could do whatever. This thing it has auto shut off features, which is great. It turns itself off and everything like that. I mean, it's a modern coffee maker, but still, I'd rather not waste the electricity. So I cut the power. That's why I don't bother setting any kind of timer or anything on it. Okay. Anyway, that's my review. Hope you like. Bye for now.